Hey guys, it's Brian. Wanted to explain one thing. First of all, you're going to notice that the environment of the rest of the video is a little bit different than what I'm recording right now, and that is because the intro that I recorded originally didn't actually get recorded, apparently. So I have to record this one separately, and it is a few days after I recorded the weigh-in and the commentary that I made afterwards. So here's the deal. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. I want to just go ahead and get you on over to the weigh-in and what I have to talk about afterwards. So if you're interested, follow me. Let's go to Medi-Weightloss. Hey everybody, today is June 19th, 2025, and by everybody I mean like the one or two of you who actually watch this. But I'm in here at Medi-Weightloss and I'm about to do my weigh-in, so here we go. There's a scale, those are my feet, and here we go. Holy crap, that's 339. I think that's over 20 pounds in 2 weeks. That's, now, okay, we'll talk about it, about all of the implications of that in a minute. So let me finish off my clinic visit here, and then I'll get back to you in, well, for you, it'll only be a second. Bye. All right, that was a great visit. You can see the Medi-Weightloss clinic right there. By the way, I am not sponsored by them, and there is no kind of a deal with me and them. I just do this because this is what I'm using to for my weight loss program, and I just wanted to include them in it. So let me get in the car here for a minute. All right, so I gotta tell you, man, I'm really stoked about this visit. There's some things that have happened over the last 2 weeks. So as I mentioned, well, maybe I didn't mention it in the last video. I can't remember. I've got to, normally I would be doing this once a week, but I can't afford to pay the clinic fee every week. My insurance is not great. Hopefully that'll change in a few months, but for right now my insurance doesn't cover this. It's out of network, so it doesn't pay anything. So I have to pay the clinic fee every time I come in, which isn't terrible, but you know, multiplied over the course of a month, that it ends up being about $300. But if I do it every 2 weeks, then it's manageable. So my last video, I had just started the program. So to give you an update of what happened in those 2 weeks. The first week was week 1 of the Medi-Weightloss program, which is very, very strict. There are no fats. Well, any fat that you happen to eat that is contained within the protein that you consume is fine. But you gotta still keep it lean and, you know, mean. That sounded terrible. So the first week is strict, almost nothing but protein. There's a little bit, you have to have vegetables. You want to have vegetables. If you can't have your green vegetables, then you're going to have some problems down the road. So you do have vegetables. There are a few allowables in the forms of, condiments and things like that, but mostly it's just going to be protein. So my daily food intake for my meals would be something like, for breakfast might be a protein shake. And that's really all about what I could take in the morning, that early in the morning. Lunchtime would be a little heavier. I'd usually have 2 lean ground beef patties, maybe some mustard as a condiment. Mustard is low fat, is no fat, no calories. It's basically nothing. And then I would have my leafy vegetables then, like usually celery or like romaine lettuce and things like that. And then for lunch or for dinner, it was pretty lightweight for me because unless I can have a really big meal, I don't like to eat lots at dinner time. So what did I have for dinner? Sometimes I'd cook up another ground beef patty. And sometimes it might be a chicken breast. I honestly can't remember. I'd have to look back at my diary. Also, yes, as far as your diary goes, it's very important to keep track of what you eat. So if you're trying to lose weight right now, and you're trying to get those pounds off, do yourself a favor, track what you eat each day. You can use, pen and paper to write it down, or you can, use an Excel spreadsheet, or even, one of these apps. I happen to use an app called My Net Diary. But, things like MyFitnessPal and some others, that all of that is just really to help you track what you're taking in and eating. And I highly recommend it because you can always go back and see where things may have either gone off track or maybe where things are really working for you. But yeah, definitely you want to keep track of your food intake. Second week on Medi-Weightloss, you introduce a few new items. You want to increase the fat intake by a little bit. You get a list of healthy fats that you can eat, and on that list of healthy fats are things like avocado and some nuts. I like pistachios. You're also allowed to introduce fruits and vegetables in a higher degree. Fruits, there's only a few of them that are recommended. Apples, mangoes, I think, are on there. I can't remember what the other list is, what the other pieces of that. I like apples, so I eat apples all the time. And then for the vegetables, again, I'm sticking with either celery or romaine lettuce. Those are really my 2 favorite. I like broccoli too. That's another one that's allowed. Let's see. So second week, my dinners would be, again, we're starting off with protein shakes for breakfast. That's really all about I can take in the morning. I don't like to eat a lot. Again, if it's a big breakfast, you've got the right foods there: eggs, bacon, potatoes, tortillas, the basic fixings for a really, really good breakfast burrito. I will eat a big breakfast then, but generally speaking, for the most part, I really don't need that much to get going in the morning. Lunches have increased a little bit. I have now aside from the hamburger patties, now I add some avocado to them. By the way, avocado on burgers is amazing, and I don't know how I got through 56 years of my life without knowing this. I've missed out. And then I've added some pistachios and a cup of Mott's unsweetened applesauce. I could get away with the Great Value brand too, or any other kind, as long as it's unsweetened. It cannot have any extra sugar. Otherwise, that's cheating. And then for dinner, last week, for some odd reason, I've been having cravings for soft-boiled eggs. So for dinner, I didn't have a lot left in my calorie budget by the time I had eaten all of my dinner or my breakfast and lunch. So I would have 3 soft-boiled eggs for dinner, and that would be it, and I would be satisfied. My body has started to reject the soft-boiled eggs now. So one thing that I did get from Medi-Weightloss is their buttermilk pancake mix, which I absolutely recommend. It is amazing. It tastes great. It is finicky to prepare. For some reason, under certain circumstances, it simply will not cook right. The consistency it's not easy. I have found that the only way that I can really get it to stay looking like a pancake is to cook it with just a hint of butter. And this is probably the only thing that really isn't allowed too much on the diet, because butter's not bad, but it has extra fat that we're trying to avoid, because what we want our bodies to do is not get its energy from fat that we bring in, but get energy from fat that we already have stored. But if you use just enough butter to coat the bottom of the pan to keep it from sticking, that's all you need, and that isn't a lot of butter. So we'll be using that, and I'll be making me some pancakes. And if you do it right with this pancake mix, you can actually make one big giant pancake, get it thin enough it almost looks like a tortilla, and you can have a breakfast burrito. So guys, I'm really, really happy. By the way, let's talk about the numbers real quick. So I had a 21, about a 22-pound loss over the last 2 weeks. And I don't want to say loss. I dropped, released, shed, gave back to the ether, whatever it is. I didn't lose it. I don't want to find it. So I mean, that's a lot. For 2 weeks, that's a lot. And if this happened in the course of the normal course of the diet, then there might be a little bit of concern, because that would actually be quite a lot of weight lost under normal circumstances. And I say under normal circumstances, meaning once I get going on the program here, and I'm actually in a mode where I'm dropping weight and not anything else with the weight loss, then it would be a problem. You don't want to lose weight too fast. What I experienced here is primarily a lot of water weight. And this happens with any diet in the very beginning. You are going to lose a lot in the very first week or two. That is mostly your body purging water from your system. And this happens quite a bit, especially when you increase the intake of water. Your body is going to just be purging that. So there's a lot of stored, water in your body that the body is getting rid of. And that's really what it is that you're losing in the first week or two. So most of the weight that I dropped in the last 2 weeks is going to be water weight. There's some fat in there, but mostly water weight. But I'm still happy with those numbers, because that's a lot of weight to drop. Let's be honest. All right, guys. If any of you are still watching this, let me try that again. If any of you are still watching this this late, or after this long in the video, I appreciate it. I'm very grateful that anybody would watch this. And I don't make these because I'm trying to get famous from them or I'm trying to monetize anything. I really just want to have some kind of a public record. I don't know why it has to be public, except for the one little thing is that I'm really hoping that my experience will help others. That's all. If you're out there, you're looking for a partner in your weight release journey, if you're looking for inspiration, if you're looking for something that'll work, I do highly recommend checking out Medi-Weightloss. I know they have clinics throughout the country. They may or may not have one in your area, but if they do, it's worth a look at. They're a good bunch of people. They do not judge you. You come in there, they already know why you're there. You want to get healthy. You want to drop weight. You want to feel better in your own skin. That's why I do it. And they know that. So when you go into this clinic, they're not judging. They're very happy to see you and they want to help. But if you're on your weight loss journey and you're doing other things, that's fine too. These videos are only going to chronicle what I go through. That's all they've ever been intended for. And if I pick up any little tidbits of wisdom here, I like to drop them in here as well. I really feel like I've got a good handle on this program this time around. One thing that I did want to say is I have noticed when it comes to attaining the goals that you set for yourself, at least for me, attaining those goals, almost every single major goal that I can think of in my life that I've achieved, that I actually sat down and I said, I'm going to do this and then do it and then be successful. There's never been a doubt in my mind that I was going to be successful. In fact, a lot of times I would approach the subject and approach the goal or the project or whatever it is as if I've already attained it. And this has been true for every really big thing that I have tried to do in my life. Every time that I go into something with an uncertainty about the end result, it's always been a failure. And I think that's what's been happening to me these last several times that I've come into Medi-Weightloss and get started on their program again. I was never fully committed to it. I never had in my mind that I'm going to be thin. I'm going to lose weight. I can't wait for the end of this. It's always been a matter of, geez, I really hope this works this time. When I started on this, my very first really big weight loss journey back in 2015, if some of you have viewed any of my previous videos, you know what I'm talking about. I was out in Arizona, and I was going to Tucson Medical Weight Loss, and I approached that once I got into the program and I saw what the program could do. It wasn't a matter of, gosh, I hope this works. I was already thinking that I had succeeded on the program. I was already starting to think about what I was going to do afterwards. What was the next project? Because I had already walked into this. I had walked into this thinking I had already succeeded. And I think that same exact thought process went through my head again when I came to Medi-Weightloss the first time in 2018 here in Florida. I walked into the program. I said, I like this program. It's very similar to what I did with Tucson Medical Weight Loss. It's going to work. And I walked into that and started in on it and did it as if I had already succeeded. I think that mindset plays a huge part in whether or not we attain goals. At least it does for me. I may edit this part out, but another example of this type of mindset was I went to a family reunion when I was a teenager. I think I was 18, maybe 19. I went to this family reunion, and I knew at this family reunion, there was, where the location was, there was a big rocky, I don't know if you call it a mountain, but it was a very large hill, and it had all of these boulders all over it. And I loved climbing up that. This time around, I said, I'm going to bring my beat box. I'm going to carry my beat box along with a couple of CDs up. Yes, this is back when we had CDs. Up to the top of this mountain, and I was going to blast it from the top of the mountain and just have fun with it. I told my mom this. I told everybody that we were traveling with. I said, I'm going to do this. There was no doubt in my head that I was not going to be successful at that. I never realized how much of an impact that one little trip, which seemed completely, totally mundane, that little trip was going to have an effect on me and my understanding of how I complete goals until recently. It's something that stuck in my mind for all these years. But I had the goal. I knew I was going to attain the goal. I wasn't looking at it as a I hope I get to the top. It was, what am I going to do when I get up there? I'm going to blast that CD player and I'm going to have fun. There was never a doubt in my mind that was going to happen. In my mind, I had already attained that. This time around, the difference is I feel that with this program now. This time around doing this program, I feel that. In my mind, I've already gotten back to my goal weight, and I'm already riding my bikes again, and I'm getting out on the trails and hitting the trails. I'm hitting the, getting back out to some of my favorite places here in Orlando to go ride. Or here in Florida, I should say. I think that could be the thing that makes it click for me. Maybe it's the same thing for you. I think that the way we feel about the goals plays a huge part in our commitment to the process. I feel like I've already made it to the goal. And I think that's why it's going to work this time. Subscribe if I've earned it, and follow along. See if I'm right. Thanks a lot for watching. And if I've earned it, hit the like button. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.